Hello everybody, welcome to Buchanok Park and welcome to Haymaking 2023. Finally, we are making some hay. Tractor, baler, bale sledge, all working away. We have a stoppage. Thought there was an issue. There is not. All is good. We are late making hay this year. Weeks later than usual because we've not been able to get the weather gap that we look for. Or the forecast has certainly not been reporting the weather gap that we look for. So we've just literally had to go for it, and thank goodness the weather has been kind. So if we look here into the swamp, this is what is going to get baled as they come round. This was mown a couple of days ago. I think we mowed it Friday, and it was turned a couple of times yesterday. Joe felt that it was ready, so he's just gone for it. Love the noise of the baler. I think it's quite therapeutic, it's repetitive, it's relaxing, and also the noise of a working baler is usually something to behold, especially where older small balers are concerned. The really good news, if we sort of look at the grass that was underneath, is fine, so it'll be good to be grazed. As soon as this lot's up, we can let the sheep, these guys, back onto it. They can do a bit of a tidy up of anything that's not been baled and get grazing it and get themselves conditioned and ready for tupping in a couple of weeks' time. And there are definitely worse things to be doing than to be sitting of an afternoon in the sunshine watching the tractor and the baler go by. There we go again. If anybody's wondering, if you don't know, the piece of equipment behind the baler, so we've got the tractor, we've got the baler, and then we've got the bale sledge. What the bale sledge is doing is it's actually grouping the bales together into what we call flat 8. So there's just some come out now, brilliantly on time. That is easier for the tractor to pick up again with the grab. So Joe's grab is arranged to automatically pick up these flat 8s and stack them in the shed later, which we'll probably have to do in between creating them and wrapping them. But also not all of these will get wrapped, so it'll be easier for moving those around. So it just sort of feeds through and then puts them into a group of 8, which is much easier for the grab to pick up. For anybody that's wondering whether it's dusty when you go in front of the baler, it is. We'll all be kind of covered in this sort of grey dust that comes off when you're doing this job later. But I don't mind, because I think it's a sign that you've got your harvest in and that you're ready and prepared for winter. So it's always a good feeling to beat the weather, especially when we've been sort of hung on a cliff edge waiting to see whether we could actually start this harvest, and now we've just gone for it and the weather's been kind to us, so don't mind that bit of dust at all. It means that we're ready for the winter time when it comes. So it's a couple of hours on from the last video and it's all changed here. Everything in the field is baled, or the front field. There's another small one, but we'll talk about that later. Here is the old Dexter with the bale wrapper on the back of her. We've been made to clear all cars off the yard. And here comes the tractor with what I can only assume is a load of bales. Yep. Watch them roofs, Leeds, Joe. You can see it pretty tight getting machinery into this yard. This is a really old property. Not really built for modern machinery. And I'm doing the theatre kindness there, saying that she's modern machinery. So I'm thinking that we're going to stack a few here and then wrap a few at a time. There we go. That's some pile. Some pile that's got to be wrapped. Probably start it this evening, carry on with it tomorrow. It's 8:30 at night. The weather gods have turned against us. It's absolutely peeing it down with rain, and we're desperately trying to get this cover over the bales that are not wrapped so they don't get ruined. Pretty mad just now. So we've managed to rescue these ones in off the pile. They're what Joe managed to get wrapped before the weather's turned against us. This is the stack left in the yard. It's pretty precarious. Just have to hope the whole thing doesn't fall down and that the weather doesn't turn even further. And then I reversed the mule up to the stack and Joe chucked a load on and I drove them in here, so at least they're under cover for the night. So these bales are all for our own use, so this is kind of like, if we can't use these now, we're royally screwed. We'll have to buy in hay, which will be a complete and utter disaster. But if you're somebody that quibbles with your supplier for your hay, whether it's wrapped or otherwise, please don't quibble with them about the price per bale, because this is the kind of work that can go on behind the scenes before you go and buy your bales of hay. So have a think about that, about the emergencies that they face in the middle of the night before they can carry on with the job. So it's the following morning and we're back on it. Some more helpful than others. Obviously this is just a game to 10 meters against the plate in the haystack. So it's really quite a lot of work. So this is the old Dexter tractor, and the bale wrapper has been driven from the PTO on the tractor. That's what's powering it. The bale wrapper itself isn't powered on its own, it's been driven by the tractor. So this is the wrap container. Each bale has to be started. Now if you don't get it in quite the right place, the bale wrapper sometimes bucks it back off again. So hopefully this one's on correctly. And then it just spins round and round and round, wrapping itself as it goes lots of times, preserving the hay so that it's the same level of moisture and content as it was today, really. So when I go to unwrap this in the middle of December, it should feel and smell like August. completed a certain number of rotations, Joe just cuts it with the knife, and that's that one done. So here's all the wrap bales, right up to the rafters. I think Joe's run out of wrap at about bale 180, so we've got no wrap left, and to be honest we probably won't use this much wrapped hay anyway, so it doesn't really matter, and it's pretty full in here, so that's that part of the job done. And so we come to the last piece of the haymaking jigsaw for us this year, this haymaking year at our house, and we come to this little piece of scrubland which we refer to as the old orchard, because when we moved in there were sort of the remnants of trees that needed pulling out and things, old fruit trees. It's only a really small space, it's quite difficult to work with, and you'll have seen in previous videos that we've done on this channel our frustration with what we've been trying to do with the space, but this hay does now need turning. So I don't know how well you can see this, but this has been turned with the big tractor, the Fiat tractor and the tedder, and it's perhaps like where modern machinery doesn't suit a small space. So Joe's gone to get the old hay bob and the Dexter, because if you look there's kind of no hay over there and a load of just like mess here, so I need to try and even it out, otherwise it's not going to bale very nicely. Never mind, this is enormous, it's like a hay monster. Making a really good job. So what have we here? We have the Dexter with the hay bob on the back, which has rode up the hay that got wet late last night after we were filming again, but has fortunately dried this morning. We have some what can only be described as banana bales and a selection of broken bales and what I believe is my dear husband piling hay by hand, grass, really dry grass, to make hay into the back of the baler. So that might be it for haymaking here at Beepenall, but it was not quite it for baling here, because here he goes again. So the combine rocked up in the fields next to us this afternoon, and the farm manager offered Joe the opportunity to make straw to use over the winter for the sheep and for the chickens. So we've got a couple of 100 bales to bale here for ourselves, and some for them and some for somebody else. So I think he's got about 400 or 500 bales to do, hopefully before it gets dark, hopefully before the dark and the weather beats us to it. So whilst haymaking is finished here for us, baling still goes on. Sophia's working quite hard, bless her. She's a little old girl in comparison to some of the mega machines that are here today. She looks a bit like a toy, but she'll do us. She's sorting the job. so there we go. That concludes our haymaking and baling journey for 2023. The baler is back under the shed. So unless there's an emergency with a friend or a customer, hopefully that's it. It can stay put away. And that's the end of baling for this year. Thank you so much for watching this video. Appreciate all of you who take the time to watch and join in with the fun. If you could give it a like, that'd be amazing. If you could subscribe to our channel, that'd be even more amazing. Thank you all very much, and we'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.